Welcome into the 49ers Report. I am Chase Sr. I hope everybody out there is having a great week. Let's get into the latest 49ers news and rumors. And it was a busy week for the 49ers trying out tight ends. Delanie Walker flew into Santa Clara on Wednesday. There were some rumblings that maybe he was going to be the guy who was going to back up George Kittle. But as of now, it seems as though it's not going to be Delanie Walker. No reunion coming with the 49ers and Walker. It's going to be MyCole Pruitt, who has signed a one-year deal with the Niners to be involved with Kyle Shanahan's offense at the tight end position. He's pretty experienced, a 6-year veteran, spent last year with the Tennessee Titans as well as the 2 previous seasons as well. And MyCole Pruitt isn't a guy who's going to run down the seam, display blazing speed, and be the athletic presence that George Kittle is, but he could be a valuable backup for George Kittle because he does offer a really good run-blocking presence as compared to him being a dynamic threat in the pass game. I guess this signals that with the signing of MyCole Pruitt on this one-year contract, that the 49ers are not going to sign Delanie Walker. We did a video earlier this week on Tuesday previewing Walker flying into Santa Clara to work out for the Niners on Wednesday. Spent a lot of time with the Niners from 2006 to 2012. He was backing up Vernon Davis for a little while. He was somewhat of a hybrid with the Niners, playing a little bit of tight end as well as H-back. He was on that team as a backup that made it to the Super Bowl back in 2012 that fell to Joe Flacco as well as the Baltimore Ravens. And when Delanie Walker left the Niners, that's when he really flourished and turned into a second-team All-Pro in 2015. But the focus here is on MyCole Pruitt after he signed this one-year contract. And look, didn't put up monster numbers in 2020 by any means. His numbers in the pass game aren't going to jump off the page by any means. He is more of a pass-blocking tight end. Last year, in only 11 games, 8 targets, 5 receptions, 49 yards, as well as 2 touchdowns. He's been in the NFL for the last 6 seasons. And during that time, 32 receptions, 343 yards, average yards per catch at a little less than 11, and he's put up 4 touchdowns in 6 seasons. So the big question here is MyCole Pruitt going to overtake guys like Ross Dwelley and Charlie Warner, maybe even Josh Peterson as tight end number 2 on this roster behind George Kittle? Only time will tell. He has a great opportunity to prove himself throughout OTAs as well as training camp. And George Kittle, while he's been a dynamic player, an all-pro, and one of the best superstar tight ends across the entire National Football League, the big knock on him, the big concern, is that injury issues have started to pile up a little bit. And that's why the 49ers have put an emphasis on trying to bring in a veteran tight end to back him up. So it's not going to be Delanie Walker. It is going to be MyCole Pruitt, who I think you're going to see in a lot of heavy formations, especially in short yardage situations as well as near the goal line. You're going to put him in at the edge of the line and just use him as a weapon to kind of open up some running lanes in the run game in short yardage situations. So who should be tight end 2 on the 49ers here in 2021? It's going to be a really intriguing training camp battle. Type P for MyCole Pruitt, type D for Ross Dwelley. I'm going to go ahead and type my D for Ross Dwelley because I think he's going to end up winning this battle, and I think he has more talent and upside. The news was finally made official on Wednesday, and we knew it was going to come. It was only a matter of when it was going to be made official. Weston Richburg has retired. His career, unfortunately, cut short by an array of injuries. Not a big surprise because those injuries have mounted up over his 7-year career. He started 28 games in 3 years with the 49ers. When he was on the field, Weston Richburg was really one of the best centers across the entire NFL. But the last 2 seasons, those injuries have cost him. It's kept him off the field, and in the end, it is why he has decided to retire at the ripe age of 29 years old. Here's what he had to say about him coming to this decision and retiring. Quote, "Injuries are an unfortunate part of this game, and I've reached a point where my body won't allow me to continue playing and competing at a high level. I was able to play some good football all over the country and was fortunate enough to finish my career with the greatest franchise in sports. From top to bottom, the 49ers organization is comprised of some of the best men, women, and athletes I've ever been around. To be just a small part of an NFC championship and Super Bowl run is something that I will never forget. Thank you, faithful, for making Levi Stadium such a great environment and for supporting us through thick and thin. I will always be a fan of the San Francisco 49ers. One of the other big reasons why this happened after June 1st, it allowed the 49ers to do some salary cap maneuvering. And when you look at the details, the finer print of Weston Richburg's contract, yes, the original deal that he signed was for a large sum of money, but because the 49ers were able to negotiate and do some salary cap maneuvering, his cap hit this year as well as future seasons is very, very minimal. This is what I want you to all do right now, because Weston Richburg was a fantastic player in a short amount of time for the Niners. Get into the comments and just type thanks in the comments to show Weston Richburg some love. Do that right now, because this guy, when he was on the field, was an absolute baller, and he had such great things to say about the Niners, meaning that he had such respect for this franchise. Now, Richburg, is going to retire, and that's obviously a big hit for this offensive line. Luckily for the Niners, though, they're going to be making a move from Weston Richburg to Alex Mack. So there isn't going to be much of a drop-off, if at all, going from Richburg to Mack. Yes, Mack is in his mid-30s right now. He's in the back nine of his career, but Mack is one of the best centers across the league. He's very, very valuable because he's such an athletic presence and has a lot of familiarity in Kyle Shanahan's offense. He was the center when Shanahan was an assistant coach with the Cleveland Browns, and he was the center on the Atlanta Falcons when Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator. So while some people might be concerned that the 49ers offensive line has taken a little bit of a hit here, I actually think they upgrade because Mack might be a better player. Mack is more readily available. And when you look at that 49ers offensive line depth chart from left to right, re-signing Trent Williams, bringing in Alex Mack. Laken Tomlinson is still a really good left guard. I think Mike McGlinchey is really good as well. Is Aaron Banks going to be able to slide in at right guard? I think this 49ers offensive line is in a great spot heading into 2021, which is what you need, because you need to be able to support Jimmy Garoppolo, or moving forward, you need to be able to keep Trey Lance upright. What is your confidence level in the 49ers offensive line? Scale it from 1 to 10 for me. I'm going all the way up to like 8 or 9. I think this unit is going to be one of the best across the entire league. Get your votes in the comment section down below. Father's Day is coming up later this month, and I'm going to help you get ahead in shopping for your pops. And we have some great deals going on thanks to our friends at Fanatics. How about these Father's Day gift boxes? I'm not sure there's a better deal out there. 25% off on both gift boxes, and both of them include things like lawn flags as well as keychains. That lawn flag for your pops, he's going to be able to manicure and mow the lawn a little bit, hang that 49ers country lawn flag in his lawn, and he's going to stand on the street, look at that lawn, and say, my goodness, that looks great, thanks to this 49ers gift box, thanks to our friends at Fanatics. Also, the license plate frame, I mean, you put that on the car and your dad's going to be rolling around in style. So how do you get it? You go to chatsports.com/49dad. You hit that link. You get 25% off on both of these gift boxes, both different in prices because of the items in there, but do so right now. Get ahead on your Father's Day shopping and support your pops. 49ers and Chargers are going to link up leading into their Week 2 preseason game. It's going to be a really good litmus test to see where this 49ers team is heading into the 2021 season. According to Matt Maiocco of NBC Sports Bay Area, he sent this tweet out saying the 49ers and Chargers will hold joint practices in Southern California leading up to their August 22nd preseason game in Los Angeles, according to a source. Now, the Chargers last year, from a win-loss perspective, they weren't all that great, but this is a team that across the board is deep, really talented, and they're led by Justin Herbert, who put together one of the best, if not the best, rookie campaigns of any rookie quarterback in the history of the NFL. So basically what they're going to do, they're going to practice together ahead of their Week 2 preseason game. This is something that you've seen become more and more common across the NFL. Instead of just beating each other's heads within the roster, you bring in another team, you go up against them before a preseason game. It limits practice, it limits some of the physicality, and you just beating up on some of your teammates. Those practices, as NBC Sports Bay Area reported, going to take place in Southern California because they were unable to hold joint practices last season. I think the Chargers are a really good team for the 49ers to go up against. Justin Herbert is really going to be able to test this secondary early on in preseason, and I think this 49ers secondary nationally has some questions. Locally, I think a lot of people are confident that this 49ers secondary is going to be a really solid unit, but when they go up against Justin Herbert and some of the elite weapons that the Chargers do have, with Brandon Staley as their first-year head coach, as he's now the head man coming over from the Los Angeles Rams, you're going to be able to find out quickly what this 49ers secondary is all about, and if the 49ers want to make any moves prior to Week 1 to try to bulk up and add to the depth of that secondary, because Justin Herbert, even though it didn't result in wins, was carving up defenses last year. One of the matchups I do want to look at in terms of these joint practices is George Kittle going up against Derwin James. Now, Derwin James, his last 2 seasons have been cut short because of knee and foot injuries, but when this guy is on the field, he's one of the best, most dynamic, and most physical safeties across the NFL. He has all-pro potential, and to see George Kittle go up against him, that is going to be a fascinating training camp battle that everybody is going to keep their eyes on, because Derwin James is a superstar player at the safety spot, and George Kittle is a stud at the tight end position. I'm just hoping that Derwin James as well as George Kittle are going to be able to stay healthy and upright for this 2021 season, because both of these guys are faces of the league. Both of these guys are superstars, and if they do match up in training camp, it's going to be fireworks and it's going to be lit. So I want to pose this question for the faithful watching right now. Who has more wins in the 2021 season? Type SF for the San Francisco 49ers. Type LAC for the Los Angeles Chargers. Be sure to get your votes in the comment section down below. I see Tom Dolan chiming in on our live show right now saying the 49ers are going to win more games this year. Marion fan also going with the Niners as well. Mariners fan going with the Los Angeles Chargers. Scion typing his SF for the 49ers. Appreciate all of you for chiming in on our live show here on the 49ers Report. Make sure you're subscribed to the 49ers Report for the best 49ers news and rumors here on YouTube. We're giving you free videos every single day, so either hit that big red button down below or go to youtube.com/49erstv and help us get to 36,000 subscribers on the channel as we continue to grow the 49ers Report. DeMeco Ryans is going to take over for Robert Saleh as a first-year defensive coordinator. I think that he is going to be one of the best DCs across the entire league. But the big question is, what can we expect from DeMeco Ryans' defense in his first year as DC? He spoke with the media this week during OTAs and had this to say, and I absolutely loved it. Our defense will be a fast, attacking, aggressive defense. I want guys to play fast. I want guys who are smart. I want guys who are going to play physical. I want to be known as an attacking defensive line. Our D-line is going to attack. Our linebackers and secondary are going to play with base fundamentals. We're going to play off our D-line. We're going to allow our D-line to get off the ball and attack. We're going to clean up things behind them, but we will be a more aggressive attacking defense. A lot of the key words there that DeMeco Ryans had said: attack and aggressiveness. That's why I think that this 49ers defense, if they're able to stay healthy in 2021, is going to be a fantastic unit. And I think DeMeco Ryans is going to be a great defensive coordinator. Throughout his entire NFL career, DeMeco Ryans was known as one of the best linebackers across the entire league. He was also known as a great locker room presence as well as a great leader. That's why at a young age, he's been able to climb up and soar up the coaching ranks and get the title of defensive coordinator. And I have all faith that Kyle Shanahan, in pinpointing him as DC, sees great potential in DeMeco Ryans as the DC. I think he steps in nicely for Robert Saleh, who's obviously the head coach now of the New York Jets, and this defense won't have a big drop-off at all in 2021. DeMeco Ryans did list some breakout candidates who could really flourish within this defense this upcoming season. Let's get to some of the names who have kind of been catching his eye so far during OTAs. Kevin Givens, 24 years old out of Penn State, had a solid 2020, wasn't really on the field all that much, but DeMeco Ryans said that he has come in, looks more explosive and much stronger. A name who 49ers fans are very excited about, Javon Kinlaw, the first-round pick in 2020 out of South Carolina. There were times throughout his rookie season where he really flashed. I'm not sure he's going to be eating squirrels and posting it on Instagram like he did in January, but you know what he has right now? He's swagged out with a diamond grill, and I think Javon Kinlaw is poised for a breakout season. That's what DeMeco Ryans said as well. And lastly, another player who DeMeco Ryans has his eye on, Dre Greenlaw, entering a pivotal year 3 as a linebacker on this defense. He's really been overshadowed by All-Pro Fred Warner, but these are some names that DeMeco Ryans has said have really stood out throughout OTAs so far. And when you look at the grand scheme of things on this defense, obviously injuries were a huge issue last year, and that's why the 49ers defense took somewhat of a step back, even though they were still a pretty solid unit. These breakout players, though, are going to be key for the 49ers taking that next step and getting back to being a dominant defense like they were in 2019 when they made it to the Super Bowl. You're obviously going to have to pay in the future guys like Fred Warner, as well as Nick Bosa. So for John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, and DeMeco Ryans, some of these breakout candidates are going to be pivotal in this upcoming 2021 season for having big years for this 49ers defense to continue to be one of the best across the entire NFL.